She mentions the thing where I got called an it at a restaurant again. I already addressed this before, but that did not happen. I did not get called an it. And when she's explaining it in this part, she makes an excuse that I wasn't there to hear it. So, who's to say that actually happened? She talked about how we do a lot of date nights and stuff. I wouldn't really call it date nights. I would call it Amberlynn making a plan for the day and doing it. She said that her favorite date night, though, was to stay in bed and cuddle. We, like, 98% of the time never did that. She started talking about having anxiety attacks at work. I only ever remember her having an anxiety attack at work, like, I don't know, like a couple times. It was not, like, an everyday thing towards when she was quitting. I didn't understand why she was quitting the job. Like, she literally just, like I said, we went to the new building and she just was not having it. I don't know what it was. I think really she just didn't want to work. I think she just wanted to do the YouTube, and that's just what she decided to do. Made up a lot of excuses of why she wanted to quit her job. And she stated, I said that I was like, yeah, you need to quit. You know, just you do YouTube and stay home. I did not tell her that straight up. I told her that she's an adult and it's clearly her choice. You know, she's grown. It's her choice. I shouldn't have a say in if she wants to keep her job or not. She was making decent money on YouTube, though, I can say. I don't remember exactly how much, but she was making pretty decent money. I went to the ER, and this is where they told me it was probably stress-induced. I don't know why she doesn't mention that, because it was literally in the paperwork. After she quit, she really wanted me to, when I went on lunch, because we only got a 30-minute lunch, we got 2 15s and a 30. During lunch, she wanted me to sit in my car and call her and just talk to her on my 30 minutes of lunch, which wouldn't have been a big deal. But I don't know, like, it was like I had to, you know. I didn't have a choice. Like, I couldn't be like, oh, you know, actually I wanted to hang out with so-and-so during lunch, you know, whatever. No, that was not an option. I had friends that I wanted to hang out with, but Amberlynn only really wanted me to sit with either with Charla or be in my car and talk to her. That was literally it. Like, I could go on lunch with Charla. Me and her could talk. Or we would end up calling Amberlynn, whatever, anyway. So, the night that we broke up, I went on lunch. But I wanted to eat lunch with my friends. Literally just sit in the building of work at a table and sit with the friends I had made. It was literally 2 people. And Dana was not one of them. Amberlynn wanted me to call her, and I did lie to her. Okay, so I'll admit to that. I lied to her and said that they were doing announcements at lunch that were important, so I couldn't call her. Like, I had to stay in the building. But I only lied to her because if I told her, no, I'm going to sit with them, it would have been like this whole argument. It would have been this whole big deal. And I just didn't see the point. Like, why couldn't I just hang out with my friends? But to her, that was just such an issue. So Amberlynn texted Charla about these announcements. And of course, Charla didn't know what she was talking about. So she said we didn't have any. And Amberlynn was going off on me. But this was towards the end of lunch. And at that job, you cannot bring your phone. At this one, like at the old building, we weren't able to bring it into the building at all. But at this new building, we had like a cafeteria type area with lockers. And then you went into like the locked side of the building. We couldn't bring our phones into that locked side. Like, they had to stay in our lockers. So she was going off. I didn't have time to argue with her. I had to put my stuff up and I had to go to work. Drive home was about 30 minutes, and, you know, she called me. We were going off on each other, just screaming back and forth, and I was just tired of arguing with her and her trying to be so controlling. And I literally broke up with her, and then I hung up. And then I just refused to answer the phone, and she kept calling to the point I just turned it off. I went home super late. I came home and she tried just arguing with me some more, trying to figure everything out. And I basically just explained to her that she wasn't changing. I don't know, like, she wasn't, like, we weren't clicking no more. Like, it was becoming more of a hassle than a relationship, you know? So I was like, you need to work on you and I need to work on me. So I didn't want any kind of relationship, any kind of nothing. I really just didn't. I didn't know what I was going to do, but I knew it wasn't being with her. Finally just went to sleep. Did have to sleep in the same bed as her because that was a whole thing. On this day is when I changed all my social media. Like, I changed it all to single. I changed, like, took her out of my bio, changed my profile picture. I really was just done. Like I said, she did still make me sleep in the bed with her. She blames it on her attachment issues and anxiety, but I literally just gave in to sleeping in the bed with her just to not hear it. It wasn't the day after me and Amberlynn broke up, but like the second day. So it was the day after I changed all my social media. Dana actually texted me and she just said, hey. And then I just said, hey, back. We hadn't talked since Thanksgiving, like I said. And she just asked if I was okay because she saw my picture changed. And I just explained to her what happened. That was that. You know, like, she had a boyfriend. That was that. On Facebook that Dana and her boyfriend had broke up. And I just casually texted her and we just were talking. We ended up talking all that night. And the next day I texted her and just said, like, how do you feel about me? Like, what are your feelings towards me, basically? I just wanted to know. Because, I mean, I have admitted to emotionally cheating on Amberlynn. And it was, like, I didn't have, like, full-on feelings for Dana in, like, the time before when we were talking. It wasn't, like, flirting or anything. Like, Amberlynn even says, like, she read our text messages. There was nothing there. But I don't know, like, I just wanted to know her more. Like, we just clicked really well, is really what it was coming down to. So I didn't know if it was, like, real feelings or if it was just, I needed a friend feelings. I asked her that, though, and then she didn't text me back for 3 days. And then she texted me back finally on, like, that third day, and she said that she had feelings for me and had feelings for me since November, when her and I were, like, just friends. And that's why she quit talking to me. Because, like I said before, she literally just quit talking. Like, after Thanksgiving, I could just be like, hey, nothing. Like, she would not talk to me. So I just left her alone. I wasn't going to do anything. I told her I felt the same way, though. I told her how I felt kind of in November, how, like, I really just wanted to get to know her better as a friend, and then, like, now we had the opportunity to be more than that. And I said I kind of had thought about that before, but I was with Amberlynn, and I think she might have had a boyfriend, and, you know, like, it just wasn't the right time, clearly. So after we admitted to having some kind of feelings towards each other, we just started talking, and we went on our first date on the 27th of January. And then things just progressed from there with Dana and I. You guys know how that went. I went home probably like after lunchtime on Sunday, and Amberlynn had me run her all around Lexington doing what she wanted to do, and then we went to the movies. And then not too long after this, me and Dana had talked about a couple things, and I didn't know it, but her and Charla had been best friends at some point. And basically, like, she was just telling me that when you're friends with Charla, like, that's gotta be, like, your only friend, and, like, basically, like, Charla won't want you to hang out with anybody else. And I was like, well, that's how Amberlynn is. Maybe that's why they get along so well. And she was like, well, me and her, like, I did everything with her. We did all kinds of stuff together. And then I think she said something about it. She either got, like, a boyfriend or something. I don't know. This was before we knew Charla. So this was before I think we even started working there. And she said that Charla just started, like, picking fights with her about stuff, and she just ended up not being friends with her anymore. And after me and Dana started, like, you know, hanging out a lot more, because I started eating lunch with her, obviously, after we went on the date or whatever, Charla started trying to start some drama between me and Amberlynn with Dana. Just, like, she was just, like, spying on me, basically. She would just, like, text Amberlynn and be like, oh, this is what she's doing. But it literally, like, we were broke up. It wasn't her business. It was whatever, that sort. So the tea is definitely coming. I hope this clears some stuff up about y'all calling me a cheater and all this. And like I explained before, even though I was secretly talking to my ex, it wasn't in a way like that. It was like as friends talking. You know, like, the only thing I'll admit to with Amberlynn is that I emotionally almost cheated on her emotionally. Like, it was in the back of my mind, but I didn't even try to act on it because I was with her. Sort of thing, you know, like, so there. And the only time I really, really cheated was when I was with that girl and I cheated on her with Amberlynn. That was the real time that I cheated. So, and I never gaslit Amberlynn. That's another thing. Like, she called me a gaslighting cheater. And that is not what I am.